this over here to the camera that's looking at me. Hello, guys. How are you today? Letting the impotent people know that I'm going live early. Tracy, Colleen, Lori, Sylvia, all those peoples. And how is everybody today? I am here, and that's what we'll claim is here. And my nose is going to itch, of course. Tracy, hello. I don't know if we're going to do any sewing today, but we're definitely going to go live a little bit early. Our internet back until almost 11 o'clock Eastern. Hi, Lori. So I wanted to, yes, we're okay. Been raining a lot, but it's been raining every afternoon starting at about 2 and then raining until it feels like stopping, which yesterday it rained until almost 10, started at about 2. And I'm not going to do a block today. If I sew, it'll just be some scrap sewing because I figured I'd come on and we'd chit chat. Let's see if that other camera is any better because that one's just, oh, well, that one will be if I turn around. Let's try this one. Can you see me better there? Me and my thread covered. The life of a sewer, always have thread on you, right? It's required. Okay, so how are you guys all today? I'm here. I have a kidney stone. Let's all just take a moment to contemplate that. Not a happy thing. I went to the doctor Tuesday. Yeah, and she gave me antibiotics. Not that that's going to do anything for a kidney stone, but since I've gotten an infection one before, she wanted to go ahead and start me on antibiotics. And they did blood tests and all that stuff for me. So yeah, I a little less gray and blurry, right? So she gave me meds for that. She gave me a referral for a CAT scan to see where the kidney stone is. And I'm waiting on that call back. I got a text from them right before I went live, so I guess I need to call them back from that text and see what's going on. I've got a couple of things sitting here on my desk that I've gotten in the mail or that Wayne has gotten for me the last few days. Wayne went to Dollar Tree for me and got me this, which is the Awesome for using on my scan and cut and Cricut mats. But all it had was that pump sprayer like this. So I ordered one of these. It's called an Expert Grill bottle. The top goes to this bottle, but it was just as cheap to buy the bottle as it was to try to get one of these. So I just changed out the spray pump for a squeeze pump. This is easier for my hands. When I put it on here, the only thing I don't like about this is this turns freely, but it works really well to spray the Awesome. And I get a finer mist than I do with that pump. So I was like, yay. And if you decide you need Awesome for cleaning your mats, it sells for anywhere from $7 a gallon US up to $14 a gallon on Amazon. So if you're going to look for it on Amazon, put it in your save for later and keep an eye on it and buy it when it said it's cheapest. And $7 is the cheapest I've seen, $6.99. So it's in my watch list now. And then the other thing I got, and this is like, I don't know why I didn't think of this. These are, they're plug-in outlets, and I'm going to show you. Literally, you plug a 3-prong cord in here, and it has an on-off switch. out at my other sewing table, I have a little string of lights that is over top of it. And I used to plug and unplug that um, electric plug every night. And I was like, why am I doing this? So we talked about putting an inline cord to turn it on and off. And so I went on Amazon and started looking, and I found these. These were 3 for $10. I have 2 more left, and I love it. It's working great for those lights. So I got to figure out what else I need to put these on. But it's kind of nice because then I don't have to plug it and unplug it from that outlet. And that's kind of hard for me to do with my hands here lately. So that's my mail for this last couple days. And then we've got this. And this is what I was working on Monday night whenever we lost power. This is my next piece of my Scrappy Quilt. So I wanted to show you guys that I did get that sewn. And the next step on this is to put it with the other piece that's on the design wall. I thought it was an awesome idea. And you get it, Lori, because you have arthritis in your hands too. It's really hard sometimes to unplug things. It makes it so much easier if you have a switch just to flick it on and off. And so I was like, okay, how do I make my life easier on this item? And a lot of times that's what it comes down to, disabilities, is figuring out, okay, I still want to be able to use this. How do I make it work for me? My shirt is all wrinkly. So this is what I'm working on. And I've got a ton of shorts up about how I've put this together. And I guess at some point I need to make a longer video for those who might want to do it in the future and aren't up to it right now. A 2.5-inch square of fabric. Put it over here. Oh, and the other thing I dug out lately is this. I don't know if it comes through real well on camera, but this is a black, and I think it's a batik, because it looks like there's no right or wrong side to this. See if you can tell. It looks the same on both sides, so it must be a batik. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but yeah, unplugging things does hurt sometimes. Sometimes I can't do it. I'd have to get Wayne to get up, because I usually go to bed after him, but I'd have to get Wayne to get up to unplug my lights. Yeah, so I don't know where this is going to show up at, but I've kind of got sashing in my head for it, a black sashing. I've seen a bunch of people do black quilts lately, so I'm thinking this might end up as sashing. So that's all, and that I dug out of my stash. That wasn't something new. It does look like a batik. I'm hoping it washes up well once I put it into a quilt and doesn't like bleed, because you can't use, I think it's batik, you can't use color catchers on. It does something funky to the ink or the dye in them. And then most important thing is numbers. Sylvia just told us that she's not feeling well. And I saw she posted that there won't be a live tomorrow, but she's at 8:21. Colleen is still at 11:30 plus. Don't know the exact. Randy's at 481. Dawn at My Quilt Projects is at 876. And Wayne's at 723. I got my little cheat sheet over here beside the camera, and I shed all over myself again. More thread. Just what I need, right? Yeah, it does look like a batik. So I'm like, yes, what are we going to do with that? My little brain is churning. So, but anyway, went to the doctor. I was thinking that the back pain was from the new medication. I'm on Arava, ARAVA, in case anybody cares. And one of the symptoms from it is back pain. So the first day I was kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm going to get all the side effects. And then the next morning when I got up, I was like, oh no, this is not from the Arava. This is a kidney stone. pretty easy to tell if you know what you're looking for. So, all right. So has anybody got anything they want to talk about today? Because if not, I'm going to go over here and I had my scrap bin sitting here. I guess oh, there it is. I'm going to go over here to my scrap bin and do a little sewing while we chit chat. Yes, no. There's only a couple of us here today. Yeah, ouch on the back pain for sure. I'm just like, whoa, are we done with this yet? But I guess I won't say it out loud, but not too bad today. Hello, Shannon. How are you today? Happy Thursday to you as well. I actually just told everybody I'm not digging in my quilt box today. Fighting a kidney stone, so I don't want to start on that one. But I'm going to do some scrap sewing. So if you want to hang out and chit chat with us, you're welcome to. And Lori, I don't have, let me go get her little thing right while I'm thinking about it. I don't have you in my bot, Miss Slay Arts. Is that how you're saying it, or are you saying S. Lee Arts? I say it Slay Arts whenever I look at it. Ah. Oh, do you still have a day job too? I usually don't go live this early, but we've been having issues here with storms in the afternoon. Monday night, it knocked me off completely. And I didn't want to take the chance of it doing that again today. So let me pull my phone over here so I can see this. So I thought, well, I really like you, Dee Dee, but I don't want to watch your video right now. I'd like to see my own live. There we go. There we are. You're saying it's Slay? Okay. That's how I thought, but I know that it came from your first and middle name together. Did I freeze up on you? There we go. All right. There's me. I'm going to bring you down a little bit so you can maybe see my sewing machine. And all I've been doing is I'm still working on, in the downtime, if there is such a thing, I'm still working on my bin. I have another row started of the squares and then putting the smaller squares together into larger ones. And you guys can see I'm getting down pretty low in my bin. So I need to either cut some more fabric or decide that I'm done making this particular quilt. I'm just going to put some lights and some darks up here and sew them together. Oh, that's awesome, Tracy. Tracy's dad turned 90 earlier this year, and she made a hand embroidered wall hanging for him and is sending it to him. Thank you, Sherlock. I appreciate it. There's Sylvia's link. And Colleen, I think, was waiting on her husband to call right before we went live. Yeah, you can see my sewing machine. Good. I had to wait for it to show up. That'll be awesome, though, that your dad gets to see your son, even if you don't get to travel. And of course, your doppelganger, your partner in crime. How is Brenda doing? I know that she was worried about being sick or about she had a cancer scare. Is that legit or was it just a scare, Tracy? I'm hoping it was just a scare. Never can tell these days. We're all at that age, right? Where things become even scarier than before. Let's see. I want some color in here besides this maroon that I've got. Chance to watch much of anything the last couple of days. Every time I think, oh, I've got a few minutes to sit down and watch something, it starts storming here, and then I end up not able to watch anything on the internet. Oh, I'm sorry, Tracy. Tired stinks. Yeah, it's hard. Very, very hard. I want some purple. But my little bin, as you can tell, is getting depleted, which is good. That means that that round of scraps is pretty much wiped out. But I'd really like to get this little quilt done, especially since I think it's going to end up being the baby quilt that I give to my cousin, nephew, whatever he is. Is blood cancer the same thing as leukemia, Tracy? Is my brain not working right on that one? I've always thought that it was, but I could be wrong. And I kind of have a feeling that Canada may call some things differently than the US does. Because what mom had sounds a lot like what I had, but they're calling it something else. Mom for mom and pop. Aw, but it's not leukemia. Okay. I'm happy it's not leukemia, but I didn't know there was different kinds. So pardon my ignorance. I can't wait to see pictures of that either. It came out gorgeous just from what I saw already. And I can't believe you got it done so fast, because it was like you were just planning it and boom, it's done. But you're fast at that hand stitching embroidery. I don't know how much you guys want to see of the sewing, so I'm just kind of doing it. If you want to see it closer, let me know. I'm not going to break those two apart, but the others I'm going to take apart. And this is pretty much how I've done this whole quilt. I'll sew a few squares together and then sew, a little of this, a little of that, just kind of to break up. It's not monotonous, but it could get that way, except that that one's turned wrong. So you're going to have to do something different. Listen. And that's the only thing I'm doing on this is light and dark together. So when I make my squares, I just try to put light to dark, light to dark. But if you're looking at the design wall closely, you can probably see that I didn't always follow that. It's a scrap quilt. It's going to be a utility quilt. I am not super worried about it being perfect. If I were entering it in a show, which I don't do, I would worry more about it. Oh, producing too many platelets. Now I've heard of that before. Does that mean she has too much iron, or is it just platelets? I don't know if platelets and iron are the same thing. I'm showing my ignorance, I guess. And I never can, but then again, I'm probably giving Shannon fits because Shannon is a precision piecer. Yeah, I'm jealous she can hold a needle to hand sew too, because I certainly can't do that. It's not in my wheelhouse anymore. But Shannon is a precision piecer. She's working on those legit kits, and I watched her. She showed how she organizes things on Stephanie's live a couple of weeks ago, and I was just blown away. I was like, yeah, well, she's more organized than I am by miles. I used to be that organized. I'm not anymore. No fits over here. Yeah, sometimes it's nice just to watch somebody else piece things, isn't it? Where you can just relax and not have to be on. That's what I like. And I do have my Clue 4 cotton cuts, Shannon. I got it 5 minutes before Stephanie's live started the other night, but I've been kind of whipped with this new medication. And then I found out that it's a kidney stone. So that really explains a lot. I don't know if you heard that when you came in or not, but that's what it actually is. Just like, no. So I got to go get, well, I've been to the doctor once, but I've got to go have CAT scan to find out where it's at and if it's doing anything besides just hurting right now. Because right now it's just being a pain in the patootie. You're hopelessly OCD. I've got to sew it too. And I thought about doing it today, but I needed something that doesn't require my guys don't mind if we take a break from those. And I know I don't mind if we take a break from those. All right. So these are the size of the blocks that I'm making. This is a 16 patch. I'm looking to see if I'm frozen again. Hello, Joe. How are you today? There we go. I saw that I was frozen, so I thought I would wait just a second. And I did that one wrong. Where did my scissors go? My ex-husband used to say, hire the handicapped, they're fun to watch. I think that applies to me today. I just sewed that one together completely wrong. But that's okay. That I'll fix. But if I found it over there in the big quilt, I'd be like, no. How's your weather today, Joe? I know it was rainy Monday. And I went live early today just so that we could avoid having another storm outage. Aw. You still haven't gotten to go back home. That stinks. I'm upset for you. Have you got any kind of an estimated time? I'm assuming that there has to be some work done before you can go home, or is it still flooded? And where are you staying? Oh, thank you, Joe. Yeah, Shannon, I used to be OCD too. I still am in a lot of ways, but anymore, it's kind of like Arthur is more important than OCD. And Arthur is my arthritis. I used to laugh. I used to laugh at my granny because she would talk about Arthur like he was a real person. Problem is, Arthur is a real person and he runs your life. You probably don't see that yet. You're a youngin'. Actually, I think you said you were older than I thought you were. I thought you were in your early 20s. Then you said something about you and Stephanie being of an age. I don't want to make you older than you are, though. That's not the idea. This. You're at your daughter's. Okay, cool. And hopefully you'll be getting home soon. I have partial blocks all over the place here. I'm trying to get them put together before I go on to making more little pieces. Your dad's name is Arthur, really? Yeah, I think you told me that. Well, Arthur runs my life, but I don't think it's that Arthur. You hope Monday? Awesome. I hope so for you. That would be great. How long have you been out now? Awesome, Shannon. My USPS, I have that informed delivery too. But mine will tell me, oh yeah, this is coming today and it won't be here till 3 days later. And it doesn't do any better at my P.O. box in town. We have to physically go in there and check. Yep. I don't ever get to watch whenever when I'm at somebody else's live, because I'm always either listening or mod. And I kind of like listening to people. I like voices. That's my thing. Because I'm into how you sound whenever you do stuff. I've got one friend who's a content creator. I pick on her and tell her she sounds like a 1-900 operator. No, there is no pandemic to blame. It's Louis DeJoy. It's the Gift that keeps on giving. Everyone I know that works for the Postal Service has nothing nice to say about him. And I have a few friends who work for him. Oh, I see what I did there. Okay. I used a fabric that should have been a light in place of a dark. But I'm going to roll with it. Finished is better than perfect, right, guys? Okay, so this is sewing together the stuff that I already had sitting up here. Quite a few of the blocks. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. So I need 2 more to make a row. And then a while back, I got froggy and I made a bunch of 9 patches. So I'm putting those in here, but I'm just sewing extra pieces to the side of those. And I have enough of these little short pieces here to do the next 2 rows. Ariel is done. Aw. And then you're working on Cinderella. You have more patience than I do. Tracy is the queen of cross stitch for sure. I'm just glad you could do it, Tracy, because that gives you something to switch off with. Deborah Holtman talks about she switches off with crochet. I can't do that. I don't have that. I mean, I can crochet for a little bit at a time, but not for a long time. Yeah, that is 96 pages, right? Anybody here ever done a crochet that's that big? I never did, even when I could cross stitch. I don't have the patience, or I didn't have the patience. I might now, but I don't have the ability. Got a comment on how close to the needle my fingers are from Colleen. I use my fingers as my pens. It works. 98 pages. You have no one to bug you. Well, you've got your kids. They have their own unique ability to push your buttons, don't they? See, this is what I do when I'm bored, is I sit here and sew these little squares together. I'm not bored today. I'm just doing them. Oh, and this is one of the ones that I cross-stitched. So awesome. I didn't cross-stitch, I serged, sorry. And I could do all this on the serger probably faster than I'm doing it right now. But I'm good with that. Yeah, you said you really liked that app back when you first got it. So it has turned out to be as good as you thought. I told you guys, light to dark, light to dark. That's all I'm doing, is putting light to dark. So this requires almost no thought. It's almost as easy as doing string blocks, which I've also shown. Why are you popping? Because you wanted to. That's why. I'm the only one who talks to my sewing machine. My sewing machine. I can't be. All right. And we'll have another row done so I can put it on there. And I'm getting close to having to make the decision on how big this quilt is going to be. With these 3 rows, I think it'll be more than big enough for a baby quilt, especially for one that you can like toss on the ground for the baby to lay on if you're outside. After that, it's going to be throw and then twin size. I think I need to take a dig through my sewing room and see what all I've got for scraps, and then decide if I'm going to stop on this one and go to something else. So there is an entire row of this put together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I can sew it to this piece. And I'm not pinning anything. This is just simple, easy scraps. Hello, Kelly. You're taking a break from chores? You can come do mine if you're, so inclined. And all I'll do is the same thing I've been doing. I don't pin, not on these. I mean, the squares are matching up okay, so I'm not going to complain about it. And with this being a utility quilt, if it doesn't match, I'll just quilt it in. And Miss Kelly, are you back? Are you acclimated to being home now that vacation is over? Kelly's job is vacations, so she helps people take vacations and stuff. So she gets to have, I hope, fun all the time. I could be wrong. It could be a very stressful job. Just depends, I guess, on your customers, right? And how well they are prepared for having all their paperwork ready. Because obviously from her name, she handles cruises and stuff. I learned something new about Wayne last night. Apparently, he applied for a job to work on a cruise ship at one point. I didn't know that. It's a whole different job application process than most other jobs. I guess the first thing you do is you have to take a cruise, which is kind of cool. Even if you don't get the job, you kind of get a free cruise. Maybe it's free, I don't know. And when he applied for it, he didn't take the job because he had a wife and little kids at home. but I'm sure he'd have been great at it. He's good at dealing with people. With all kinds of people. He's a people whisperer. There we go. That's the right way to put that. Ooh, on a Mediterranean cruise. That sounds nice. Actually, I think any kind of vacation sounds nice right now, right? I always hear about people taking Florida vacations, and I'm like, really? You came here for a vacation? I guess there are some attractions, warm beaches and stuff. Just never been my idea of the right destination. Just matching up my little corners as I sew here. And to me, this makes more sense than going through and putting in a ton of pins. Because if I put a ton of pins in here, I am going to pinch myself or hurt myself. If I do it this way, I put in the effort, but I don't have to take out pins and worry about getting stuck. Because I would, I'd be bleeding all over my quilt. You guys would be going, call the ambulance. All right. So we got 3 rows done on it. You hope the climate is good in the Mediterranean right now for her clients. Yeah. All right. Let's bring this back over here to the other camera so you can see it in big time. All right, so here I am, and here it is. We had 2 rows together, so I just sewed that 3rd one, and then here's 3 rows ready to go on the big one. And this, like I said, is big enough at this point, I think, to make a baby quilt very easily. Then I have to, awesome. Then I have to decide whether I'm going to go any bigger or if this is going to be the full size of it. I still got time to decide. The baby shower isn't until July. So I got a minute or 2. And the baby's not due until August. But I just kind of think Mom lives in a house where there's a bunch of dogs. My aunt has like 6 dogs. Thank you, Lori. And I'm just thinking, it'd be nice to have a quilt big enough to let the baby lay on and run around and play. And I'm sure that the dogs will get on the quilt too. So still got to be bigger enough for the baby to lay on and the dogs to lay on. So those dogs are protective of babies. They always have been. So this is my aunt's first grandbaby. I want to make sure that it's as indestructible as I can make it. And with this pattern, with doing it this way, I can do like a grid line through here and really quilt it down so that the quilt will last longer. You know what I mean? I'll put something heavier duty on the back as a utility fabric. I think I have some light denim or something. Yeah, well, with this and the other piece, it'll be a good size quilt so that the baby can lay on it, so mommy can lay on it or sit beside the baby. And so that if the dogs do decide, with the last baby that was in my aunt's house, the dogs would literally lay in a circle around him. And that's been a few years ago, but they would lay in a circle around him and you couldn't get to the baby unless the mommy said okay. And so I'm thinking it'll probably be the same with this one. Same dogs. They've added one. Since then, one's gone away. But yeah, I think it'll probably be the same situation. It'd be nice if there's enough room and if the quilt is sturdy enough that it can just be washed whenever it needs to be washed. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it. So yeah, I thought about making, if she wants a pretty quilt down the road, she can definitely have a pretty quilt. I'll be more than happy to make that. But I want to make something that's gonna be utilitarian and be able to stand up to whatever gets thrown at it, right? Because that's what you do with a baby is you need something that's gonna handle spit up or blown diapers or whatever and not have to worry about is it gonna get ruined. So did you get everybody's links in Sherlock or do I need to supplement? I saw you put Sylvia's in. Yeah, it is a nice size quilt. All right, let's see. I didn't see. And then the other one is, did I get everybody? And I know I put Slay Arts in for Shannon. Oh, I almost forgot. I gotta put this one in. You didn't get Kelly? Okay. I put Shannon's in when she first came into the chat. I had to go get it from her channel because I don't have her in my bot. I only basically have the mods and the people who come like every day. I'll add Shannon later on. I have Lane. I should probably put him in there. All right, so, oh, you're very welcome, Kelly. I can help. I want to help. I don't have much influence, but let's try. Help our friends out if we can. So I'm planning to be live Monday night. May move it if the storms, we continue to have storms every day right now through Sunday, then I may move Mondays earlier in the day. I hope we don't, but that seems to be the pattern right now. And then I have a couple of videos coming out this weekend. Tomorrow I've got a podcast coming out for the Appalachian Memories. We are working on scheduling Sewing Bee for June, which seems to be really popular. Shannon, if you, or if you're still here, she may have had to go back to work. If you or Stephanie want to be on June's Sewing Bee, would you shoot me a message? My email is on my About page, or you can email Colleen. She usually handles the guests for them. And, she's more of a social butterfly and has a better organized mind than I do. But you're welcome to email me if you would like to do that. The sewing bees are a lot of fun. We just work on usually whatever works in progress that we've got going on. We don't necessarily have a project, although if you want to suggest a project, we're always down for that. And I've got a video coming out. Bye, Joe. You have a great day. I've got a video coming out first part of next week about mirror or ring on the scan and cut and the Cricut. I'm working on getting it edited right now. What is it, why is it important, and how to do it on both of them. So that'll be out first part of next week. All right. Anybody got any questions on anything today or anything they want to share? All right, then I am going to say bye for now. You guys have a great week and a great weekend. Enjoy your holiday and do it safely. Oh, I forgot about that. Monday's a holiday. Let's see. Am I going to do a live on Monday night since it's Labor Day? For now, I'll say yes. If that changes, I'll post it on the community tab. Okay. If it looks like it's going to be a crazy day and not be able to do it, we're hoping that we're going to have the grandkids and the daughters out here this weekend. All right.